So if you guys thought that the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial was the trial to be heard all around the world, you guys have not seen anything yet, because it is official, according to Twitter anyway, in her own profile, Gina Carano is going to be suing Disney and Lucasfilm.
Hey, Bob.
Now, how amazing is that to see a headline of Gina Carano suing Disney? I have been waiting for this moment for quite a while, because honestly, Disney needs this. They need this to happen to them, because if this can basically set a precedence, right? Where if you have someone who is obviously terminated because of political leanings, if you have someone who is terminated and basically used as a feeding fodder to the mob, in Gina Carano's case, she was fired simply because she did not kowtow to the mob. She did not bow down and bend the knee, and the company Disney tried to make her do this in many different avenues. They wanted her to take re-education training, whatever the hell that is. They wanted her to publicly apologize. They wanted her to sit in front of 10 to 20 or 30, whatever it was, people who are all part of the LGBTQ community, and basically be told about how a bunch of a terrible person she is. There is so many things they wanted this woman to do just because she wouldn't bend to the mob, and now she's going to get some payback with the help of Elon Musk, of all people. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Almost at 30K, trying my best to get there, and don't forget to like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So it says Gina Carano receives assistance from Elon Musk and files wrongful termination lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm over her The Mandalorian firing. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, I agree with this sentiment 100%. The fact of the matter is they got rid of Gina Carano because she was deemed problematic by Disney and Lucasfilm at the time. When everybody was bending over for the parental rights and education bill backlash, Disney was forefront on that movement. They were getting rid of anyone and anybody who was against the entire, message of the don't say gay bill, as they like to call it. They love to call it Don't Say Gay Bill because they want you to think that it's something that it's not. No, ladies and gentlemen, it was the Parental Rights and Education Bill to stop people from grooming children in Florida, and that's what made Disney and all of their allies so angry, because God knows when you try to take away the children from Disney, they lose their mind. So let's see what's going on with this actual lawsuit. I'm very curious how Elon Musk is involved as well. So it says Gina Carano has officially announced that thanks to the assistance provided by Elon Musk, she is now moving to sue both Disney and Lucasfilm over her abrupt and now infamous firing from The Mandalorian. The former Cara Dune actress first announced her intent to take the House of Mouse and its subsidiary studio to court, the full filing of which can be read here, on February 6th via a lengthy post made to her official Twitter account. After 20 years of building a career from scratch, and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter: terminating me from The Mandalorian. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Recap the actress of the chain of events which led to her being completely excised from the Star Wars franchise. Now, I remember that tweet. I remember the announcement of when they, technically fired Gina Carano, and honestly, it was ridiculous. You could tell that this company was essentially bending over to the mob because Gina Carano wouldn't do it for them, right? If Gina Carano wouldn't do it, they'll just fire her, and they'll bend over for the mob anyway themselves, and they've been bending over ever since. Disney, once they decided to go full-fledged woke, they made their bed, right? They made their bed, and now they've had to lie in it, and you see all the results, right? You've seen the results of their entertainment industry completely collapsing. They have very few franchises that are making good money anymore. Everything has gone down into the shitter, and that's because Disney themselves have put them there. It says nothing could be further from the truth, she then pushed back. The truth is, I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I like because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right-wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example of me. Now, that's very obvious. We know that to be true. There's no difference into what she's saying because we've known this to be true for a while now. Look with your own eyes at what I posted seen below and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to Jewish people in the Holocaust? Carano asks of the public. I didn't. Ask yourself why they were calling me a racist. Was there any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making droid noses from Star Wars. She further invited. Beep Bop Boop, seen below, was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way denigrate transgender people. Well, see, here's the thing. With transgender people, especially online on Twitter, they're the activist version of transgender people, right? Which is the people who are absolutely insane. They want you to bend the knee every time they talk to you. Anytime they look at you, they want you to bend the knee. If you are not constantly bending the knee to this particular group online, you're canceled. You're done. They want nothing to do with you. They'll lie. They'll do whatever they got to do to bring you down because you didn't agree with their ideology. This is no different. Gina Carano was one of the first examples, one of the first true examples of cancel culture coming out from the transgender community because they didn't hear what they wanted to hear. That's all it is. It's something as stupid and as simple as not hearing what you wanted to hear. So because someone didn't bend over for you, all of a sudden you want to get upset and do everything you can to lie about this person, and you're still doing it today. You're still trying to actively cancel Gina Carano till this day. All of her cons that she's been visiting, they've been trying to get her removed from the cons. And the funny thing is, every time they try to do that, she just ends up more successful. The amount of money that these haters are making Gina Carano is insane. If you guys do the math of the money that she makes at the cons, it's crazy. So the fact of the matter is, she's not canceled. She's never been canceled. They might have been successfully canceling her maybe in the beginning for her first couple of months, but she basically got back on it very quickly, and she's more bigger than she's ever been before. So they only have themselves to blame. And now they've been trying to cancel her at 2 upcoming cons, and they can't do it. They can't do it. She has a line longer than almost anybody else at that con, and she gets so many people willing to pay money to get her autograph or to even get a picture with her, or both. They pay insane money for it. It was like $120 for each one. Crazy. So you're only helping her at the end of the day, to the point where I'm starting to think that all this backlash is just her PR team. But no, I'm just kidding. This lawsuit very clearly is going to be the deciding factor of what happens moving forward, right? If she ends up winning this lawsuit against these people, that's going to set the precedence that this cancel culture nonsense is not going to stand. You're going to wrongfully terminate people for political leanings? Really interesting. So that's not going to go over very well, because if a company like Disney loses, then you got to imagine smaller companies will definitely lose no matter how good their lawyer may be. So it says, raising one final question, Carano asserted, were my questions about masks, lockdowns, and forced vaccines okay to ask and push the subject to the light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss those topics at the time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely, I agree. And we all know that they didn't want you talking about that. They didn't want you to have your opinions out there about what was deemed acceptable, because the moment you had that opinion out there, that would immediately get you canceled because you're taking away their money, right? Pfizer, Big Pharma, all these guys, if you take away their money, that is a big, big problem. They banked so hard during the entire altercation that you know as the pandemic. It says, throwing her former employees' love for identity politics back in their own faces, Carano continued, Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, in untenable reference to the Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal's own post-election behavior online, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech? And again, that's because you're not saying the proper things, right? You're basically not a leftist. If you're not a leftist, you're not allowed to say shit online. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter employment, she declared. And I have spoken to all my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their rights to free speech and do not have to think the same on every issue to be their friends and work with them. And I know they feel the same towards me. Now, this last paragraph right here is exactly how everybody should be viewed. You should not be canceling people just because they don't agree with every single thing that you say. You should not be able to be not friends with someone because you don't agree with every single thing that they say. You are going to have some differences, and at the end of the day, you still can be friends and you can move on from it. Unfortunately, when it comes to online activism like this, people don't think like that. It's either agree with me or I'm going to try to do everything in my power to destroy your life. And that's what they've done to Gina Carano. But the funny thing is, as you can see from this picture, she is glowing, and that's because she is absolutely winning in every metric possible. And this lawsuit is going to be the final nail in the coffin to all of these idiots who have been trying to cancel her for years. You have completely lost. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.